Hello again, everyone. Welcome to Washington Gun Law TV. I am Washington Gun Law President William Kirk. Thanks for joining us. Well, listen, we're going to delve into an issue that's kind of kicking around in the sports world right now, and it's about 23-year-old NBA sensation Ja Morant. Now, Ja, as you know, was the second overall pick in the 2019 NBA draft, and he is an absolutely fantastic, one of the most talented basketball players in the league today. But Ja, well, he doesn't always make some of the smartest decisions. He's already previously been in hot water for a few things, including a previous issue with the firearm, and now he finds himself in a lot more hot water with the NBA for another issue involving a firearm. But should he even be in trouble at all? I know that sounds funny, but let's spend a few minutes and actually think about it and talk about it. So today, let's spend a few minutes to talk about, is the NBA overreacting to Ja Morant? Okay, so the story we're talking about is all the to-do about Ja Morant and his recent snafu involving, yet again, the use of a firearm. Now, I say that because there is a firearm involved, but let me give you the history of how I got turned on to this story. I'm channel surfing the other day, and I come upon ESPN, and it's in the middle of the conversation, so I don't really catch the earlier part. But I hear a conversation with Stephen A. Smith, the journalist who I do have some respect for, but he can use a lot of hyperbole and conjecture, and he's kind of a sensationalist journalist. And this is the comments that I first heard.
We are aware of the social media video involving Ja Morant. He is suspended from all team activities pending league review. We have no further comment at this time. For some perspective into this latest incident, we sent it out to our NBA Countdown crew.
With Jalen Rose and Stephen A. Smith, I'll start with you, Stephen A. Obviously, this is a subject that so many people are so passionate about. You are no exception to that. What is your reaction to the latest from Ja Morant?
Incredibly disappointed, disgusted, wondering what the hell is wrong with him. And it really comes down to that. This is a man that is universally recognized in NBA circles as being a highly, highly intelligent individual. This is stupidity. And you know he's not stupid, so what would be the reason? Does he have other problems that we don't know about? It now warrants an investigation.
Okay, that sounds pretty terrible. So I'm sitting there thinking to myself, my God, what did Ja Morant do? Is it child molestation? Is it domestic abuse? Did he beat his wife or girlfriend? Did he rob a bank? Is he actually part of ISIS? I mean, what's going on that's got Stephen A. Smith so freaking worked up, okay? And then I come to find out, oh no, it was actually something that was posted on Instagram Live, something that looked like this. Okay, did you see it? Yeah, that's right. At one point in that video, which was being shot by the driver of the car, apparently one of Mr. Morant's colleagues who himself has had some run-ins and apparently has been banned from the building, from the Memphis building already, but that's again another side story here. But for a very split second in that video, it appears that Mr. Morant is holding a firearm. Now, that has everybody, all the talking heads on ESPN and all the other sports shows, and has everybody in the NBA absolutely crapping themselves. And there is story after story after story saying that Mr. Morant is going to face a very long suspension. Now, for his last little snafu with a firearm, which was a social media post that he himself posted holding a firearm in a gentleman's club, okay, which again, there was nothing to suggest his first snafu was unlawful. There was absolutely nothing, as far as I could tell, unlawful about his possession of a firearm in that location. That got him an 8-game suspension. You're like, well, 8-game suspension, how bad is it? Well, it cost Mr. Morant over $600,000 in annual earnings. But now you see everyone in the league is talking about half a season to a full season, and there are many people screaming that Ja Morant should be kicked out of the NBA for yet another social snafu, if you would, with the firearm. Now, here's the thing. What really got me thinking about this, though, was a tweet by Will Cain, a former sports journalist who actually does a lot of work on Fox News. He's also an attorney, and actually you guys should really check out all the stuff that Will Cain does because he's really a bright guy and he's got some fantastic insight. But this tweet here kind of got me thinking, like, yeah, well, wait a second. It's one thing if Ja Morant isn't old enough to possess a firearm. It's another thing if we know that Ja Morant is a convicted felon or convicted of domestic violence or anything like that, or that he's been previously diagnosed as mentally defective, so that Ja Morant has no lawful right to possess a firearm. Then Mr. Morant's possession of a firearm and display of that firearm would be unlawful. But there is no allegation there of that, right? Then there is, of course, Mr. Morant could have possessed the firearm in a manner which is inconsistent with local or state law. That is, possessed it in a place or in a manner which was otherwise unlawful according to state or local law on either this new incident or on the old incident. But guess what? Yeah, there's no allegation of that at all. Then, of course, there could be allegations that Mr. Morant needs some kind of licensing or some kind of background check before he could be in possession of the firearm or carrying it in the automobile or something like that. And yet again, there is no allegations of that. And so you see, this is a prime example of what we talk about at Washington Gun Law all the time, which is lawful and responsible gun ownership. Because you see, it's highly likely that Mr. Morant has done nothing illegal whatsoever. That the possession of this firearm, the manner in which it was carried, the manner in which it was displayed, and any of that is still within the confines of all state and local law. Okay, so this is not unlawful gun ownership. Is this arguably irresponsible gun ownership? Well, I think that most of us who are lawful and responsible gun owners know that we don't go around flashing our firearms on social media. We rarely even do anything about our firearms on social media. We certainly know about how we carry firearms and in what condition we need to be in and what condition our firearms need to be in to be safely and responsibly carried. Do I think that Mr. Morant has engaged in responsible gun ownership? No, I don't. Actually, I think he's demonstrated very irresponsible, brash behavior with firearms, and it's something that needs to be corrected immediately. Does this young man, though, deserve to have half of his annual income or his entire annual income taken from him? And I know it's hard for all of us to relate because we can't think about money in that terms like what they make. But this is a young man who has been given a lot of God-given talent, okay, physically. He obviously needs to mature a little bit more mentally. He has worked his ass off to get to where he is. He is at the top of his game because of all of that hard work, and he is being rewarded as any other entertainer should be rewarded, and he's making really, really good money. Does he forfeit his Second Amendment rights simply because he gets paid so much money and plays in such a high-profile industry? Well, you see, I guess Stephen A. Smith kind of thinks so, because check out what else he had to say.
I want to say this is also very important. There's a lot of people out there, because we're looking in this age where people talk about gun owners, gun control, and all of this other stuff. State-to-state laws are different. The NBA is a private industry. They don't want to see that.
Yeah.
They're not tolerating that. You're compromising their bottom line when you find yourself in those kind of situations. So what they're going to do is make sure that if you even hint at potentially compromising their bottom line, they're going to compromise yours. That is the way this works. You don't get to make the rules when you got your hand out for somebody else's money. Those who have the gold make the rules. And that's something that people have a resistance towards embracing and accepting, but you better grow up and accept it.
And listen, I have preached all the time on this channel that every business has the right to run their business however they wish, and every consumer has the right to react to those business practices as they see fit. Listen, I don't know what the answer to this is. And in keeping true with what we do here at Washington Gun Law, I am not giving you all of this information because I want to tell you how to think about it, but I am giving you a lot of stuff that we ought to think about. Because a young man is in a high-profile job, in a high-profile industry, making tons of money, certainly he should be held to the level of scrutiny that we would expect role models to be held to. And he has, in some degrees, arguably, failed in that duty. But this young man has also, so far as the stories are reported, has committed absolutely no criminal activity whatsoever. Where do we draw the line? When does the amount of pay that we get suddenly allow a private industry to strip us of our otherwise inalienable rights? I'm interested to know what all of you think about that. Go ahead and post that down in the comment section. Listen, you may have more questions about anything that's going on with Ja Morant or anything else related to what's left of our Second Amendment rights. You guys should know how to contact Washington Gun Law by now, but if you don't, that's okay. That information is right there in the description box. In the meantime, I do want all of you to remember that part of being the lawful and responsible gun owner, like we talk about all the time here at Washington Gun Law, is to know what the law is in every situation, how it applies to you in any instance that you may find yourself. Until next time, thanks for watching and stay safe.